So it's been 2 months since my last top 10 list, and about a week, or over a week, since I've posted anything at all. That's, it's not surprising. I have a couple reasons for that, though. I did just come back from Shine a few days ago. Me and Dennis don't have any Let's Plays prepared since me and him are both going back to school soon, and we really don't have too much time to meet up and record with each other. And 3, top 10 lists take a lot of research, script writing, editing, and just all-around time to make these. So a week's span of me getting back from a tournament in Boston, that's not gonna fly. But anyway, I am finally back with a brand new top 10, not top 5, but top 10 list. This time coming at you with the top 10 most nerfed Super Smash Bros. Characters. As the name implies, these are the top 10 Super Smash Bros. Characters who have been nerfed the hardest throughout the history of the entire franchise. It has 1 or 2 characters on it that were just nerfed in balance patches of Smash 4, but most of the characters on this list were characters who were nerfed from one game to another, like a character like in Melee who was really good, and then when Brawl rolled around, they weren't that good. That's pretty much what this list is going to contain. So to sum that up, these are the top 10 most nerfed Super Smash Bros. Characters, whether they were nerfed in a balance patch of Smash 4, or if they were nerfed from one game to another. And before I get into this list, guys, some of the things I'm gonna say in this video aren't necessarily factual. Like the ranking of the list itself, it's just the opinion of some guy who doesn't even win his locals on the internet. I mean, I do well at my locals. I always place in the top 8, sometimes in the top 3 on a good day. But yeah, don't take it so seriously. That's all I wanted to get across to you guys. And with that said, let's head right into the list. Alright, now I know what you're probably thinking right off the bat. You're thinking,
ugh, Nintoonist is so fucking stupid. He put Sheik over Bayonetta. Bayonetta's nerf was huge. I have a good win rate on For Glory.
And to them I say, hear me out. Yes, Bayonetta's nerf was infamous for being the only thing changed in patch 1.1.6 of the game, and with the exception of maybe pre-patch Diddy's nerf, is the most famous nerf in the history of Smash 4. But Bayonetta just won EVO by killing Zero's Diddy Kong at 25%, and then immediately won another S tier in DreamHack Atlanta, so yeah, Bayonetta was arguably broken before her nerfs, but she's still arguably, and frankly probably, the best character in the game still. Which is why I did not include her, or pre-patch Diddy Kong on this list. Because despite their nerfs, they're still, objectively at least, the 2 best characters in this game. So now you're probably thinking, well, why didn't you include Sheik then? She was easily the best character in the game before her nerfs. And I have a reason for including her. Because Sheik, in my personal opinion, doesn't even come close to qualifying for the title of the best character in the game anymore, and I think her nerfs hit her a lot harder than Bayonetta's and Diddy's did. Think about it. Unless I'm wrong here, what S-tier tournaments has Sheik won after she got nerfed? I mean, yeah, Mr. R always won Beast in Europe, but as far as I know, those tournaments were B tier at the highest, and Mr. R was the best player in Europe by a pretty huge margin. Personally, what I think happened is that I think Nintendo saw Zero's very defensive Sheik back when he mained the character, and nerfed Sheik in a way that made her defensive playstyle much less effective, as Sheik is still definitely more than a viable character, but she can't be played as defensively as she used to be able to. Anyway, I included Sheik on this list because, despite her still being capable of winning majors and still being one of the best characters in the game, her results genuinely did drop off after she was nerfed, while Diddy's and Bayonetta's results never fell off too hard after they were. One can argue that this is just because Zero dropped Sheik and decided to move on to just playing Diddy, but that still counts towards the character's overall results. Now to prefix this, I want to quickly say that this is the last of the Smash 4 nerfs that will be on this list. When I was doing my research when I was making this list, I found that what I believe to be the most significant nerfs overall were mostly characters from one game to another. Maybe just Smash 4 nerfs is coming soon in another list? I don't know, but anyway, ranking at number 9 is Smash 4 Luigi. I put Luigi on this list for the existence of one undeniable statement. That pre-patch Luigi, at the very, very worst, was top 5 in the game, if not top 3. This character was nuts, man. He had true confirms out of his down throw at almost every reasonable percent, including a kill confirm and down throw the down B, which still works in some cases, but is very rarely true, if not at all, and his combo game was even crazier than it is now. This was changed in patch 1.1.1, which really nerfed Luigi the hardest because they nerfed one of, if not his best tool. You guessed it, it was his down throw. It's funny because Luigi actually received a lot of buffs in that same patch, but his nerfs proved to be much more significant than the buffs he received, as Luigi, for a while that is, wasn't seeing the same results he was receiving before. Including the first ever recorded set taken off of Zero during his prime on the part of Mr. Concon.
Sir, Mr. Concon is the first person in the world to ever take a set off Zero.
In patch 1.1.1, down throw's knockback was changed, as the 75 base knockback, 30 knockback growth was changed to 55 base knockback, and 83 knockback growth. To put that in layman's terms, it made his combo game a little worse, and it greatly hindered his down throw to down B combo, as it became true in much less scenarios. That and the increased shield stun included in the same patch made Luigi's out-of-shield punish options harder to execute and less useful as well. All these nerfs dropped Luigi from potentially top 3 in the entire game to not even a top tier anymore, although nowadays with elegance placings, that may be a little subjective. Yep, that's right. Sheik is on this list 2 times, because she's a top 5 character in Melee, and upon her transition to Brawl, she was nerfed pretty hard. Pretty much to the point of unviability in Brawl. Although, that really wasn't the main reason she was unviable. The biggest and most notable nerf from Melee to Brawl would be in her power. Sheik retained her nimbleness, mobility, and her combo game from Melee, but due to some nerfs such as the ones to all of her aerials, she now was very inefficient at killing. Due to mechanics such as hit stun cancelling as well as the nerf to her power, she had like, what, 2 moves that could kill an opponent underneath like 150%, and the ones she did have such as her up smash or her vanish were very hard to land. Although she did have Dacus, which helped her out a bit. Also, just like in Melee, her recovery still really wasn't all that good, with it being pretty easy to edgehog. From Melee to Brawl, Sheik was also lighter, had slightly worse traction and gravity, and to top it all off, in a game full of chain grabs and characters that were practically only viable because of their chain grabs and tech chase setups, Sheik's down throw tech chase was removed due to Brawl's overall lower falling speeds. This led Sheik to fall from the 4th best character in Melee to 25th in Brawl. Sadly, Wario was made worse in the only other Smash game he's in. Now for those of you that are new here, yes, I'm not counting PM because pretty much almost every character in that game is broken. Also, fuck PM Wario. Wario's mobility for a heavyweight character is actually exceptionally good. Plus, advanced Wario players have discovered that Wario has plenty of bike tricks and footstool setups that can lead to a KO. But the fact of the matter is, Wario went from being a top 10 character in Brawl to a low mid to mid tier character in Smash 4. Here's why. For starters, he can't do the Gatling combo anymore due to the removal of Dacus. His moves as a whole also have a lot more lag, such as his F smash, his up smash, and his back air just for starters. His F smash doesn't have the armor and transcendent priority that it used to. Wario's trump card, which is the Wario Waft, also deals significantly less damage and he gains a lot less height from doing it, making his recovery slightly worse, albeit it's still a fantastic recovery. Wario was placed on this list because of his significant drop on the tier list from Brawl to Smash 4, but Wario as a whole really is not a bad character at all in either game. In fact, I would actually argue that due to Meta Knight's sheer dominance in Brawl, that Wario is actually more relevant in Smash 4's metagame, even though he's a worse character overall. Regardless, Wario still suffered a drop in terms of what he is capable of from Brawl to this game, which is why he made the list. Now, I guess this is where you could say that the list starts to get meaty. Get it? Get it because DDD's so fat because he's got like a lot of meat on him? No? No? Okay. DDD in Smash 4 suffers from all the same negative attributes that he had in Brawl, which are basically just the regular negative attributes that a heavyweight has. Slow movement, slow and easily punishable but extremely powerful attacks, etc. And with that comes the high survivability and good attributes that a heavyweight has too. DDD is the 3rd heaviest character in Smash 4 after all. However, DDD saw a significant drop from his spot in Brawl from being 12th in the game to universally considered bottom 10 at best in Smash 4. One of the major reasons he dropped off so hard is because of the removal of chain grabbing, as DDD in Brawl had one of the best chain grabs in the game in his down throw due to its set knockback. In Smash 4, however, chain grabbing was completely removed, so what was one of DDD's best tools in Brawl was inherently removed in Smash 4 due to a change of mechanics, which alone hurt DDD quite a bit. DDD also just had one of the best grab games in Brawl in general, and in Smash 4 it was toned down quite a bit, with some of his throws, namely his up throw, really not having very many uses at all. King DDD, despite having a very above average vertical recovery and multiple jumps, has the worst air mobility in all of Smash 4, making his horizontal mobility very poor. I bring this up not only because they made his air mobility worse from Brawl to Smash 4, but also because in patch 1.1.4, they made his air mobility even worse. Why, in the sweet fuck of it all, would they nerf an attribute that a character has when it's already the worst of that attribute in the game? That makes no sense, man! Looking at the patch notes on the Smash Wiki, throughout the history of Smash 4, DDD either only received nerfs or non-game-changing aesthetic changes. The fuck, Sakurai? Seriously, this is your own character. He's been one of the worst characters in the game since launch, and you even voice him, for crying out loud. And you never once thought that DDD might need a buff or two? And before you say that DDD doesn't need any buffs, no idea why you'd say that, but hey, people are idiots. You want to explain this? Dev team! Fuck's going on with you? Sorry, I just get kind of upset at the fact that DDD really hasn't received very many buffs. He used to be my secondary in this game, and he was one of, if not my favorite heavyweights in the game, so I'm really sad that he was never buffed or pretty much given anything better than he has or deserves, but whatever. Despite all of this though, DDD is still only the second hardest nerfed character from Brawl to Smash 4. Who was the first, you ask? Well, I'll tell you. Yeah. This was one of the ones that hit a lot of people the hardest. Falco has always been a good character. Still ranked second on the Melee tier list, although possibly not for much longer, and 7th out of 38 characters in Brawl, Falco is generally considered a low-tier character at best in Smash 4, losing many of the attributes that made him such a threat in Brawl. For one example, Falco's lasers along with Fox's don't auto-cancel anymore, meaning Falco can no longer short-hop double laser like he could in Brawl, taking away one of his better tools and hindering his neutral. As if that wasn't enough, they also nerfed his down air by drastically increasing the startup and the landing lag, now making it impossible to auto-cancel in a short hop like the move is notoriously famous for being able to do. Not to mention the fact that its knockback scaling was reduced with less reach as well. This hurt Falco's neutral because it hindered his approach options. They also, and I have absolutely no idea why they did this, it was just really completely uncalled for, removed Falco's old back air and gave him Wolf's back air instead. While the move does come out on frame 4, which is really good for a back air, its nerfs outweigh its buffs as the move has less range and less duration, further limiting Falco's approach options and making it way less effective at spacing. All of these nerfs combined with the fact that they never buffed Falco's bad horizontal mobility to compensate for them, really amplify and exploit his already bad traits and is the icing on the cake of what makes Falco a bad character. On top of all of that, they also removed several other good traits that Falco had from Brawl, and changed or removed some mechanics. For one, Falco had a nasty chain grab in Brawl that aided him in his viability, and chain grabbing was removed in Smash 4, so he obviously doesn't have that anymore. Falco also had a really good Dacus in Brawl as well, and since Dacus was removed in patch 1.0.4 of Smash 4, he can't do that anymore either. And on top of all of that, Falco is lighter, which combined with Rage makes him die earlier than he used to. Falco in Smash 4 still has a couple of good traits such as his vertical mobility, slightly better recovery as opposed to Brawl, and a really good combo game, but his flaws very much outweigh his pros, making Falco the most nerfed character from Brawl to Smash 4. Samus went from being a viable character in Melee with a good niche matchup against the best character in the game, as far as good matchups against Fox go at least, to a bottom 10 character in Brawl. This significantly large drop happened for a few reasons. The first is that Samus cannot kill worth toodles. Seriously man, her kill options in Brawl were whack. She couldn't kill even when her opponents were at high percent because her KO power was nerfed extraordinarily hard. That combined with the mechanic of hit stun cancelling in Brawl made it incredibly hard and inconsistent to close out a stock with Samus. Second would be her inability to rack up damage well. A lot of her moves are either really weak, really slow, or in a lot of cases, just both. And her slow movement and high end lag on a good chunk of her attacks really didn't help either. Because of these traits, she had one of the worst combo games in the whole game. And finally third, she just had some inane problems that held her back from viability. For starters, her bombs, for some reason, didn't explode on contact, which was pretty weird. And also, and this is beyond me, her charge shot was not a powerful kill move. Why though? Seriously, like, it was her fucking charge shot, man. Like, it's supposed to be one of Samus's best killing tools. Having charge shot not kill is like trying to play a normal Mario game where you can't jump. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. Samus did retain some good qualities from Melee, such as her long reach and her tether, plus her good recovery and long range game, but unfortunately, they weren't strong enough to save Samus from the gutter or the bottom tier. Alright, now this one I gotta bring you guys back to talk about, so get your notebooks out, because it's time for a history lesson. Imagine being a competitive Melee Falcon player at the dawn of the grassroots of competitive Super Smash Bros. Take us back to 05, 06, 07, when we're watching players as legendary as Isaiah and Silent Spectre forcing a brand new viable character into the meta of Melee. A viable character, not only for the player, but for the people. For the people as well. Captain Falcon was one of those characters that, through pioneers of good Melee such as Isaiah and Silent Spectre, showed us just how sick this game is and how sick this character can really be. So to the excitement of many players when a new Smash game was announced, one with even better graphics and even more characters, many players were anticipating Falcon's return so they could show their moves once again. However, would they be able to play their character at the same level of glory that he achieved in Melee? Nope! Captain Falcon was garbage in Brawl, dropping from 8th in Melee to a whopping 34th in Brawl, reducing Falcon to a bottom 5 character in the game. Everything, and I do mean everything you once knew about this character, was completely thrown out the window once Brawl came out. That being, his combo game and KO power. Falcon is known for having a sick combo game and fantastic kill power and moves such as the People's Elbow and the Falcon Punch, but in this game, both his combo game and his kill power were significantly nerfed. The Knee of Justice was made much harder to land as its hitbox is significantly worse than it was in Melee, and its duration was made so much worse to the point where if you want to hit the sweet spot, you literally have to do it on the first active frame of the attack. Not to mention its freeze frames are damn humongous in Brawl, so it's easier for the opponent to SDI or just DI it, which is beyond stupid because its knockback was decreased as well. Not to mention hit stun canceling on top of that, which already greatly reduced kill power as a whole, so this rendered Captain Falcon's Knee of Justice pretty much useless. And honestly, sitting here reading the script and like talking about Captain Falcon's knee and everything, now that I mention it, honestly a lot of his attacks just have really crappy hitbox placements. Which of course made Falcon's neutral game pretty bad, as it's now way harder to space properly and approach with him. The changing of physics from Melee mechanics to Brawl mechanics really hit Falcon super hard, as he could no longer moonwalk, he couldn't dash dance effectively anymore, and with hit stun canceling in the mix, it made his combo game virtually non-existent. That and just the all-around slower pace of Brawl really hurt Falcon. This is because Falcon's really good burst option from Melee, the Knee of Justice, was not only made worse as the move itself, but the slower movement of Brawl really hurt Falcon, because Falcon was still the second fastest character in the game in Brawl, but the game was still so slow to the point where you could easily react to pretty much anything he was gonna do, so it really didn't matter. Like nothing he ever did strung into another attack, he was trash. So to sum it up, Falcon pretty much can't do virtually anything that he was designed to be able to do, which made Falcon not only a bottom 5 character in Brawl, but one of Smash's most nerfed characters. Jigglypuff, along with Falcon, is the other Melee character who suffered the most from Brawl's different mechanics, dropping from a top 5 character in Melee to a bottom 3 character in Brawl, making Jigglypuff suffer from the biggest tier drop from Melee to Brawl. For starters, Jigglypuff's combo ability has been weakened due to the decreased hit stun in Brawl, so it was much harder for her to rack up damage. She also has one of, if not the worst ground games in the whole game, possessing terrible tilts, crappy range, and very slow ground speed. She has really low base knockback in most of her attacks, plus too much ending lag in them as well, which made it very easy for her opponents to punish her, simply for attacking them in what feels like should have been a safe situation. But one of the biggest things, and I could go on a whole rant video about this, but I'm not going to do that, was the nerf to Jigglypuff's KO power, namely Rest. This is just one of the absolute stupidest things in the game, in my opinion. And Smash 4 Jiggs pretty much suffers from the same problem as well. What I'm talking about is how Rest no longer kills at low percent. Jigglypuff's opponent has to be at a relatively high percent for Rest to kill. Which is insane, because Rest is famous for being one of, if not the most high-risk, high-reward moves in the game, because it has an insanely tiny and short-lasting hitbox that, if you miss, you can easily die for, as Jiggs is one of, if not the lightest characters in the game. The entire point of Rest in the first place is to be a high-risk, high-reward attack that's insanely hard to land, but kills at super low percents. And it's a high-risk, high-reward attack because Jigglypuff is immobile once she does it, so if she doesn't land it, she has a chance of dying because of how light she is. But in Brawl, the move doesn't fucking kill due to its nerfs, which renders the move almost completely useless because all it does is put Jigglypuff in a bad spot. The nerfs to Jigglypuff's Rest in Brawl and the hit stun canceling aren't the only times that mechanics have worked against Jigglypuff. In Smash 4, Rest also really sucks because of one thing. Rage. In Smash 4, they really didn't buff Rest as much as they should have. The move once again does not kill unless either Jigglypuff's opponent is at a high kill percent, or if Jigglypuff herself has Rage. This is once again insane because having Rage or high percent pretty much be required for Jigglypuff to be able to kill with a move such as Rest is just so stupid, because now Jigglypuff needs Rage to be able to kill with Rest. She's at high percent. The fact that Jigglypuff needs Rage to kill with Rest in Smash 4 is insane, because the whole way you get Rage is that you have to be at high percent. This is so stupid because Rest is a high risk, high reward move. So the fact that Jigglypuff basically has to be at kill percent for it is so stupid, because that means that if she misses Rest, not only is there a chance that it won't even kill if she lands it, but if she misses, she's basically guaranteed to die. Honestly, they did this character so dirty from Melee, because she's terrible in Brawl, and frankly, arguably even worse in Smash 4, although I don't think that personally, but I can see a very reasonable argument being made for that. Jigglypuff is very bad, but not as bad as our #1 most nerfed character. But first, some honorable mentions. 64 Pikachu, Melee Fox, and Brawl Meta Knight are all honorable mentions because their nerfs are famous and unique for them originally being the best characters in their respective games, yet still viable in the games that came after. Yoshi finds a spot in our honorable mentions due to him getting nerfed from a high tier in 64 capable of very easy shield breaks and heavy punish in neutral games to a mid/low tier character, lacking a couple important tools to stay viable in Melee's ever-changing metagame. Ganondorf finds a spot on this list simply because he's a semi-viable character in Melee, with multiple top Ganondorf players able to at least sort of keep up at top-level Melee, to the worst character in the game in Brawl, with almost no representation or results whatsoever. And finally, Princess Peach secures a spot in our honorable mentions, as she is a high tier in Melee with the current best player in the world maining her alongside Fox, to a mid-tier character in Brawl, still capable of some things, but not really able to keep up due to characters like Meta Knight. With all of that out of the way, let's finally reveal Super Smash Bros.' most nerfed character. Jesus Christ, I have like a whole page on this guy. Alright, to any man, woman, or hermaphrodite with a decent knowledge of Smash, and to pretty much every Melee player, none of them should be surprised at today's #1 spot. Kirby saw the hardest drop of any Smash character from one Smash game to the next, and he also arguably saw the largest drop of any Smash character in history, whether it's a nerf from one Smash game to the next, or a patch change in Smash 4. Kirby is ranked #2 on the 64 tier list as the only other top tier character behind Pikachu, and is obviously one of the best characters in the game. He went from that to becoming the worst character in Super Smash Bros. Melee, ranked 26th out of 26 characters. In 64, Kirby was honestly kinda busted. For a lightweight character, his attacks hit like a damn truck, doing a metric fuck-ton of damage and very high shield damage, and they were also incredibly fast, and he had a ton of priority on his moves. It was ridiculously easy to kill your opponent if he's off stage due to the spike on his down air, and to top it all off, he has ridiculously good range for a character as short and as stubby as Kirby is. No, I'm being serious. Do you feel like laughing? This is the hitbox for his up tilt. Look at this shit! It's unreasonably disjointed. Kirby is absolutely nuts in 64, man. But as far as Melee, this character, man, I seriously don't even know where to begin. So I guess for entertainment's sake, we'll start by listing off the inane and stupid problems that Kirby has. Now, you've all seen Melee is Broken by Hugh, you know, the video that I blatantly ripped off of and didn't at all make because I was inspired to make Smash 4's jank because nobody knows the difference between blatantly stealing somebody's art and making a tribute to them. So you probably know this already, but I'm gonna tell you anyways. Kirby's forward throw and back throw can both be used to suicide kill your opponent, which, under normal circumstances, would be a pretty good option. But for some goddamn reason, you can jump out of his throws. Yeah, you can legit just mash out of Kirby's throws, which is insane, because that defeats the entire purpose of the grab mechanic in Smash Bros. Because the entire way grabs are balanced is that they can have lag if they whiff, and that you can mash out of the grab itself if you're quick enough before the throw happens. The entire counter option against getting thrown is to see if you're fast enough to mash out of the grab that comes beforehand. That's the whole trade-off. So the fact that you can mash out of the damn throw itself is just insane, and renders both of Kirby's horizontal throws pretty much completely useless. These are, without question in my opinion, the worst throws in the entire franchise of Smash Bros. Frankly, I don't even think that's debatable. So now you might think, okay, just use his other throws, right? Nope, because they suck too. Kirby's down throw is actually really good and can set up into tech chase situations, so if Kirby is actually lucky enough to get a grab, this is what Kirby should pretty much always do. Kirby's up throw can be used to suicide kill by the ledge as well sometimes, plus you can't mash out of this throw because it functions like how it's supposed to. But this, and I learned this recently as I'm sure a lot of other Melee players have because of Hugh's other video, upon landing on the stage for the actual hit of the throw, you know when Kirby gets launched into the air for a brief moment, he loses all of his jumps. So if you do it by the ledge like this, there's a chance that you might die. Another thing that people might assume about Kirby, which is another misconception, is that his recovery is good because he has multiple jumps and an up B that sends you up. But this is not the case. Kirby has one of the worst airspeeds in all of Melee, so despite his 5 jumps, his recovery is actually pretty exploitable, especially when you have moves like Shine in the game. Not to mention that his up B has plenty of startup and doesn't really go all that far, plus it's pretty easy to edge guard on its own as well. He sucks at killing, not just because his attacks are very slow, but also because many of them don't kill either. Seriously, even his smash attacks aren't that strong, especially his forward smash, which is infamously and ridiculously weak for a smash attack. Outside of his up air and his back air, and sometimes his down air depending on the situation, his kill options are seriously lacking. I mean, come on, Swallow Side is one of his best kill options. Come on, man, that move is a damn meme. It shouldn't be one of the best kill options a character has, but alas, it is. Kirby's lack of good kill options, stacked on top of the fact that his mobility and attack speed are awful in a game where mobility is half the battle, has led Kirby to being the worst character in the game on the official Melee tier list, ranked 26 out of 26 characters. And there you have it, folks, the top 10 most nerfed Super Smash Bros. Characters spread across all 4 official Smash games. If you like this video, go ahead and leave me a like down below. If you want to comment whatever your opinions on this list are down below, you can do that in the comment section down below as well. And if you directly want to support me or help me out, you can do that by subscribing. I am very, very close to 4,000 subscribers, and once I hit 4,000 subscribers, I'll do something. I might do another celebration stream, I might do like a room tour of like all my stuff and like my editing software that I use to make my videos, or maybe I'll just film myself streaking around the parking lot. I don't know, I'll do something, but if you guys help me get to 4K subscribers, I will reward you in some way or another. Honestly, I've been really happy with the rate of growth that my channel has been growing at. I only hit like 2K subscribers back in like December or something, and it only took me like a couple of months to get to 3K when originally it took me forever to even get to a fraction of that many subscribers. So to all of you who subscribe because of my top 10 videos or my Let's Play videos or anybody, just any of my new subscribers, I want to thank you guys personally from the bottom of my heart for making my dream a reality. That is pretty much going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, whatever, do all that dumb shenanigans, and I will gladly see you next time. Take care.